Get ready for 2 hours of hard-hitting football talk, straight from their jocks about the jocks. It's Football on the Know with Jim and Joe.
Well, they say it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome once again to another episode of Football on the Know Show. I'm Jim McPhee, and right there is Mr. Joe DeCapita.
What's going on, know-it-alls? Welcome back for yet another edition of yours truly, the Jim and Joe Show. I can't wait to get talking about some of these things, about these topics that we got coming up, because we got a wide variety type of show for you today. We're bouncing all over training camp. We're talking about off-season injuries. We're going to talk about a little bit of some of the hot topics lately. And Jim, we're going to just kind of dive right in here. Let's do this.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to touch on a few subjects quick. One of the latest things that is like viral all over the internet, I guess, at this point, right? And whoever would have thought this, the Bills Stadium, I like the thing you write too. Bills Stadium, what's up with the blind spots, right? Oh, boy, Joe. And it was funny is because they're like, oh, here we go. We're going to open up Highmark Stadium to the fans. It's going to be a glorious thing. And even on the news, like if I didn't go to the internet and just watch the news, like on Spectre News, they're like, here, they tell you the whole thing. Open up the fans, Josh Allen and the Bills play and blah, blah, and they're interviewing the players. Oh, it's a wonderful experience. I love it here, blah, blah, blah. And then you get to the internet and you're like, oh my goodness, everybody is talking about, like you said, it's season ticket holders. It's one thing if you get you're a fan, you're there, and then all of a sudden you have to get a nosebleed spot or whatever. And you're like, all right, I can't really see from here and stuff. The fact that it's season ticket holders and that it's throughout the stadium, like with those seats, and then that's not even mentioning the smaller screen. And these days that you could get bigger size things and stuff. I'm not expecting like Jerry Jones style stuff because we all know how New York is and where your buck goes, it cannot go very far. So we know that. Look at Giant Stadium and what a disgrace that is. So high mark, hit the low mark on this one, Joe.
Yeah, definitely. And it's really disappointing for as much hype that was coming into Buffalo and all the fans super excited. Oh, we're getting a new stadium. It's going to look awesome. State of the art. We're going to have huge Buffalo statues out front. A lot of excitement in Buffalo for it all. And then when it gets completed, and then we start to get some viewpoints of the field and everything, we're noticing there's a damn screen in the way at one point. That all throughout the stadium, there's blind spots for where certain people that are going to be either sitting in those seats or whatnot going to be greatly disappointed. Bills fans or even visiting fans, and some might say like, oh, well, they strategically did that to visitor side, so they would have an unpleasant, viewing of the game. But it doesn't stop there. It even bleeds into the home side. So there's even a spot where they're $1,200 tickets, like in one of the end zones where you can barely see anything.
You can barely see. You can't see the end zone, and you're on that side.
One of the biggest design flaws ever in stadium building history. Like it has to be. So what's the alternative now? They're stuck. They're screwed. They already built it all. Now they're going to have to live with it at least for a long time, actually.
At least, until if somebody can figure out some other architectural way to do something next season to do something, offset it. But that's what's funny, right? Because, Joe, I work in, the woodworking industry and things like that. And we see commercial jobs come in through schools, hospitals, and you get a set of plans. Again, there's many people that look at this. One thing I do know, architects think they're always right. You can tell them, hey, this is not really possible the way you're drawing it up. This doesn't seem right. Do you consider this? And they're like, no, do it the way I did it, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, all right, well, how do you expect me to do it? So then you find ways to do it, blah, blah, blah. You can fight them tooth and nail. So that might have occurred, but you would think that even ownership or somebody even higher up in some of this says, look at this and say, because you can see it. Like you see the photos from say the field and looking up, you can see where there would be the obstructions, those staircases just coming out of nowhere. You could see them just bang, 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 visibly right in front of somebody. And it just seems like to me, they're like, let's make this and do this. And then somebody's like, because I know they had said that there's less seats in there than the previous stadium.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
to create this look and what they did, they had taken so much more space than their lost seats. So they're like, we got to be able to kind of put more seats here. So some asshole sat here with a computer screen too. Is probably like click, 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 fill those spots. Sort of like the guy who filled out the solar panels when he did my layout for my house. Hey, what's that? Another one here? What's that? Another one here? Da 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 da. There you go. That looks good. We could fit this one in this space if we crimp here, and that's what they did. And then everybody's like, yo, that's freaking brilliant. You know what I mean? Without having the foresight to be like, somebody's gonna be sitting here and get not much of you at all. I mean, that's the only way this kind of makes sense to me, and that people overlooked it all, but it is a major flaw for, like what you said, something people have been anticipating for so long. And not only some people, it's Bills Mafia. They've been waiting for this for a long time. And look at the way this team is playing right now. You know, they're at the top tier of teams right now, expected to go to the Super Bowl every single season here, as long as they have Josh Allen.
Yeah, there's that too. And he's still there, so there's not going to be rioting in the streets. But I'll tell you right now, this stadium is definitely an eyesore for Buffalo Bills fans and anybody that's going to be going to view some of these games. Unfortunately, if you try to avoid getting those tickets at all costs, because there was a view that I saw, it was in like the lower tier upper deck, where if you look to the right, you only see half the field.
Yeah.
There's a box like
the box
thing in the way, and it literally cuts off your vision half of the field. So, I mean, the job's already done. So it's not like you can fire engineers over this. Like, oh, well, we got this far and we noticed you guys screwed up. We need to bring some other people in to try to fix this and resolve it. No, it's already completed. Unfortunately, I don't know what the alternative is in the future at this point, because now that it is already set in stone, basically, and ready to go for this upcoming season, there's no cure for these flaws. Like, they're going to have to at least sit with it and see if there's anything that they can do, maybe next off season or something, to kind of change some things around. But it's definitely one of the biggest topics in Buffalo for sure.
Yeah, and then one of the other major ones for me, I think, too, is the retractable awning. Basically, it's not even like a roof. And I get they wanted to try and keep elements in play for them as home.
We'll see how that lasts.
You just do a retractable awning that only goes so far. Everybody knows that if you have an awning, like, you want to be under that thing. If you're on the edge of it, all that rain is just flying off that edge and just pouring on you at the greatest might possible. So, so a big major screw up here. It's gone viral for all the wrong reasons here. So, hopefully we don't hear about it too much throughout the season, but so we want to touch on that real quick. That's one of the hottest topics right now. Let's do Kyler Murray, right, Joe? Let's talk about Kyler Murray and the fact that he was finally officially named the starter for the Minnesota Vikings, which pretty much everybody kind of knew. But I think my take on this whole thing is JJ McCarthy. You've had the team, well, we're only like a season still because of the injury of last year, but you already knew the playbook. You were starting to play a little bit better last year. You had every chance possible to try and make yourself, put forward and say, hey, notice me, like, hey, I can do this. You brought that guy in, but I'm telling you, you don't need him. I got this now, and we can do this and take the reins. But he couldn't do it. So basically, the trajectory of his career now, it's it. Now he's looking for a ticket somewhere else. Yeah. I mean, now he's going to be sit behind Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray has, on his point of view now, every chance to make his career flourish now. You've got tons of great weapons, a good head coach, a good defense, and a team that's already baked right in. You're just the missing piece. If you could play like you were of old, and even a season or so ago, when it seemed like when he was healthy, he was doing fairly well, that's it. You're going to get you're going to get a contract extension. You extend your career. And we've seen it with multiple other quarterbacks in this league that changing different teams looked down upon as like, hey, he's washed up, or he's not just the guy that we thought he was. can go to another team and reinvent yourself. And this is a perfect opportunity for Kyler Murray to do so.
Absolutely. And like we called this. We knew that when Kyler Murray was brought in, most likely he's a vet. He's a guy that's been there, done that. He is a very unique player in the sense of he can also outrun you to the edge and take off for yardage on the ground. So there was a lot to like with this move. However, wasn't too good for JJ because that showed us that, like, okay, well, one, maybe Kevin O'Connell and the rest of the offensive staff really don't truly believe in JJ McCarthy going forward. And that's why they made this move for competition. Kyler Murray, you think about him in Arizona with Cliff Kingsbury when he was the head coach. There was one season in particular where he went 12 and the Cardinals went 12-4 with him as a starter and was fully healthy all season, had a tremendous year that year. And then it kind of tailed off in injuries and poor play, mismanagement of the roster all came about, leading to his exit and going into Minnesota. And now he sits in the quarterback position right now with a way better offensive line he's ever had, a way better receiving core than he's ever had, a way better defense than he's had, and overall team, even the coaching staff is just way better. So everything is better around Kyler Murray, and he is flourishing. And I understand it's practice. We're gonna see preseason games this week, like for the first time. So it's not that serious yet. However, things are looking really good for Kyler Murray right now. And the big concern for us when we talked about this back and forth, who's going to win it, who's not going to win it, was JJ McCarthy. And if he doesn't win this job, which now we know he hasn't, that what does that mean for his future now? So now you're going to be stuck behind Kyler Murray at least this year. And if Kyler Murray plays well enough, he's going to get an extension, just like you said, Jim. And that's going to lead to multiple years. You're going to, so how, you don't want to sit and be a backup for life. Right. So now do you demand a trade, to go to another team to have another opportunity next year? So, and I know McCarthy has come out publicly recently as today or yesterday and basically said that he wants to stay in Minnesota. Well, bud, you might change your mind.
Well, if he does, again, keep hitting the books, man. Whatever you got to do, learn. And then again, another thing.
Learning at this point.
Well, I guess I don't know. You know what I mean? Just then he's going to have to move on to another team and reinvent yourself. But I know, as far as the Vikings, they're just like gladly keep him on the bench as their number 2 and just as the backup if they had to.
Of course.
He's under and then at that point for him, he's just got to hope that if he gets his opportunity to go in, because the one thing about Kyler Murray too, mobile and has known to be getting injured too, he might have another opportunity. He needs to be ready to strike with that opportunity. So
right on.
But there you go. They moved on, and I think part of it too is the players. They said things too to the coaching staff. They didn't believe.
They spoke highly of Kyler Murray. They love what he's doing.
Oh yeah, exactly. So, all right, we're going to touch on now quick the Cleveland Browns battle, as that's been kind of waging back and forth. And the thing that's interesting with this is Todd Monken's approach again. And I get that, new coaches too, they want to come in and they want to be like, well, this guy's depends on how they play. And so we're going to split time. And, whoever's playing better, they're going to get the nod or something. It's competition flat out. So that's fine and all, but from what I'm hearing in other interviews too, he's like, he admittedly that said, hey, well, a couple of players pulled me aside and said that Shadour's getting a little more reps than Deshaun, so it's a little lopsided. So why don't you put Deshaun it? So he decided to. So you're like, all right, so now you're listening to the players, and what you're going to do. And then they voiced the opinion that like, oh, it's a little lopsided. Now it's not completely down the middle and even. You got to put Deshaun in now. So I mean, it seems like he don't know where to go with this thing. And I think it's a political battle between him and ownership possibly again and say, hey, well, am I going to go with Shador, the young guy again? Or am I really kind of forcing my hand and have to do Deshaun Watson still because we're paying that money? So,
right. And that is a very true statement is money talks. Like when you're paying a player as much as you're paying Deshaun Watson, you expect him to play. And very well known that all the trade compensation you gave up to get him into Cleveland. So there's all that. And then there's the play on the football field. So, I mean, we're doing practice. They're doing 11 on 11, 7 on 7 drills and all that. And there's pros and cons to both quarterbacks. Sometimes there's days when Deshaun looks great, and there's days that he looks absolutely terrible. And the same thing can be said for Shador. So, I mean, we've seen turnovers galore in Cleveland so far in practice, but between both quarterbacks. Some are just
Mhm.
bad decisions, some are just bad footballs or just not, going through his checks and balances of the plays and all that. So, for both quarterbacks to struggle, not be consistent at this point in the race, I'm sorry, but I think that Shador and Deshaun are so close to each other that, of course, they're not gonna know who their starter is yet. You know what I
Mm,
mean? It's
yeah.
so close. There's no one separating each other from the pack to kinda take over the position, so we're gonna have to really monitor this going into the preseason games because I feel like that's going to be the major, decision maker for Cleveland and Todd Monken. And man, I gotta say, Todd Monken, he doesn't, ever, edit any words that he says. He's very, very blatant about things, very, straightforward, doesn't care about swearing at
No,
all.
no. Nope.
But he is definitely comical to say the least. I just hope that his coaching career isn't comical for Cleveland.
Yeah, absolutely. And what it doesn't make it easy for this team because their offensive line is struggling too. And that's part of what you see in camp too. And is that these
Mhm.
quarterbacks, they're sitting there trying to compete to get a starting job. And they're just learning, getting a, 101,
Right.
spot in trying to learn how to hurry up and just, get the
Yeah.
ball out quick. You know what I mean? Hence
Right.
the turnovers. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
they need to it's hard for them around this whole thing because of that offensive line and how weak it is, and they're struggling here in training camp and stuff.
But
So,
that's what happens. Remember that O-line last year?
mm,
Every single starter left in free agency.
yeah, yeah,
Every single one.
mhm.
So, it is a completely new offensive line that they've constructed together, and now they have to find a way to grease the wheels, to gel together before the season gets here, and right now, it's not looking good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we'll find out. He still hasn't named a starter for this upcoming game this
He ain't
weekend.
naming the starter until kickoff week 1.
Yeah, so yeah, we will see who gets the edge, and we'll see if he sticks true too. And it's
Right.
like in that preseason game, they're going to get exactly the same snaps with the they're it's like because what do you keep like
That's right.
how long do you keep the ones out then, or what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? So it's a mess always. Just Cleveland, I guess that's just the way it is
We'll
when it comes
see.
down to
We'll
the
see.
Cleveland Browns. So all right, so down to the bread and butter, Joe. Something's got really grind my gears. You know how I guess
Yeah.
sometimes something that goes across the radio waves. I listen to talk radio and all this stuff, and something just it buzzes in my ear and gets me going. This thing has really got me amped up. We know about the sit-ins that are going on around the NFL. Some of this, and the biggest
Yeah.
topic out of all of them here, Baker Mayfield's upset with the contract negotiations, how they're going,
Mhm.
and why is Tampa Bay shading Baker Mayfield right now? But then on top of it, I'm hearing media. And first of all, you should know that Baker
Out of
Mayfield hears
Tampa?
this stuff and takes this stuff and uses it as fuel. So
Mhm.
be ready this season. So if I'm Tampa Bay now, after all the media this backlash, I'm like, dude, we got to sign him now. Here we go. This guy's going to be pumped and ready to go. But this thing has got me really irritated, and a few different shows have brought this up. So what first, before I get your take, and
Mhm.
I do mine here, Joe, I'm going to rattle off just the starting quarterbacks expected for the season. And I want you kind of tell me who you would start. Just say start or no, or yeah, yes or no. When I say
Between
start
Baker and
over Baker Mayfield. Yeah, Baker
okay,
Mayfield, and then this guy, this guy, this guy. I'm just
okay,
going to roll through it fast. Like, so we're going to make this light and fast, but I just want to get your take on this. So let's
okay.
go with the AFC East. We're just going to roll through it. Josh Allen. No, probably not. No. Right. Okay.
I'm starting Josh Allen over
You're
Baker.
gonna start, yeah, yeah. All right. So,
Yeah.
all right, Malik Willis.
No.
No, you're not gonna start Josh Allen or no
I'm
Baker
not gonna
Mayfield. You're
I'm
gonna
not
start
gonna start Baker Mayfield,
Malik.
or I'm not
Hey,
gonna start, uh,
Malik.
Willis over
Okay. All right. So the way we'll do this, we'll do Baker Mayfield. Say, yeah, will you start Baker Mayfield over this guy? Say yes or no. So Josh Allen's
mhm,
no. Malik Willis is yes.
Yeah.
All right. Drake May.
No.
Geno Smith.
Yes.
All right. So there
Is
you go.
that a-
So you're looking at Josh Allen, Drake
That's
May.
a
Okay.
question.
Yeah.
We should have skipped over the Jets.
Oh, I know. Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
Really? Okay. Interesting. All right. Joe Burrow.
Ooh, no. I'm not going to start Baker over Joe Burrow.
All right. Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I'm putting Baker over Aaron.
Oh, yeah. All right. CJ Stroud.
I'm putting Baker over CJ.
Daniel Jones.
I'm putting Baker over Daniel.
Trevor Lawrence.
I'm putting Baker over Trevor.
Cam Ward.
I'm putting him over Cam. Cam's still too
Bo
young.
Nix.
I'm putting him over Bo.
Patrick Mahomes.
Honestly, I am putting Baker over Patrick Mahomes.
What?
And I don't give a shit what people think.
Okay. All right. Kirk Cousins. If he's your starter.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Justin Herbert.
Absolutely. Yes, I'm putting Baker over.
Okay. So you have him
Herbert.
even higher than I would even do with some people, but I'm not saying that though about Justin Herbert though either. Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott.
Yep. Give me Baker.
Jackson Dart.
Give me Baker.
Jalen Hurts.
Baker.
Jaden Daniels.
Baker.
Caleb Williams.
Baker.
Jared Goff.
I'll do Baker.
Oh, man. Jordan Love.
Baker, definitely.
We just talked about Kyler Murray. I'm sure you're taking Baker.
I'm taking Baker.
So you're taking Baker over Tua or Michael Penix?
Absolutely.
Bryce Young.
Yep.
Tyler Shuck.
Over him. Over Tyler.
All right, now we're down to the NFC West already. Jacoby Brissett, yes. Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, absolutely. Oof, I can't take him over.
Yeah, no. Brock Purdy.
Ooh, yeah, I still got to take Baker.
All right,
and
Sam
Baker
Darnold.
over Brock. Yeah, I got to take him over Sam. If I took him over Jared, I got to take him over.
All right, so there you go. We just rolled through them, and basically you just had them in the top 5 right now, just of what you kind of rattled right now. So
yeah.
Before I get to for you to wrap up on some of that, I'm going to give a shout out to all of our guys listening to us out there and all the know-it-alls. I'm trying to get to your guys' comments. Steve Murray, shout out to you, brother. Definitely, you got to get a hold of us too to do some more stuff. And he also says you started laughing after saying Geno, but before saying Smith. Diabolical. Okay. And Javon Manners out there in the house with us tonight. He says that's crazy. You know, Josh Allen. So I don't know which one of you were talking about at that point. And then Christian Robinson is there with us too. Shout out to him as well.
Hashtag know-it-alls.
What up, know-it-alls?
What's up, everybody? Thank you so much.
In the building.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So after rattling all those names, again, you had him starting over a few.
Mm-hmm.
Now, without going through every single one, why would you start him over some of these guys, including Jared Goff, we'll say right now, who is playing like a top-tier quarterback? Or even Patrick Mahomes.
My thing is this. Here's the thing. So I got to see Baker Mayfield in his glory in entirety in 2 seasons ago, where he was top 5 in almost every category for quarterbacks. He was debatable a top 3 quarterback. And then I saw last season where literally had no receivers. They're all dropping like flies due to injury. Offensive line, he didn't really even have many, if at all, starters on the offensive line to protect him. And Bucky Irving also missed significant time too out of the backfield. So this guy, with all that going up against him, some of these quarterbacks wouldn't even survive like he did, because this dude still was a top 10 contender in terms of passing yards and touchdown passes. So in order for him to kind of overachieve on a team that was falling apart, and then you look at 2 years ago what he was able to do, now going into this season, this dude is definitely arguably a top 5 quarterback any given season, because for him to do as much as he did, and then you go into this season with a team that is completely healthy again. You're starting to hear a lot of praise from Baker Mayfield and his connection with Emeka Egbuka, with everybody together, younger group of guys, McMillan, another guy who missed all of last year. He's starting to connect with him. So you're getting a healthier Tampa Bay team, a pissed off Baker Mayfield on top of all that because of the contract issues, because of like you said, the media is even disrespecting him. But also, when Baker Mayfield did address this before we even got into training camp, he basically said this. It's not verbatim, but basically said this in his presser. He was like, listen, first and foremost, I want to make things clear. I love Tampa Bay. My family loves the area. I love the organization. This is an organization that did believe in me and made me their starter. But so I want to make it perfectly clear. There's no shade towards them. I love this team. I love the players. I love the staff. But with that being said, he also said, I feel with a few of the offers that were made to me that I was disrespected by the offer and thought that I deserved and warranted a contract similar to those other type of starting quarterbacks that are out there. Like, I'm very curious. We do not know the details of what these offers were and never will. But it makes me believe, like, were they trying to lowball him in a sense? Were they trying to say, hey, we're going to give you $30 million a year? Would you take that with, a signing bonus, whatever? This dude deserves at least $45 million a year. Like, he needs to be paid like everybody else that's getting this kind of bag. So that's what it seems like. It seems like they're trying to lowball the guy. The guy deserves it. He's earned it at this point.
Yeah.
Look at what he's done for your team. And with the team around him right now, minus his head coach, because he's god awful. I don't think he can make up the difference to win you a Super Bowl because the defense is lacking. So I think it's time to shine. The Buccaneers need to wake the hell up. Just get this deal done. Do not let this go until next offseason, when he might have a chance to say, yeah, they can tag him and all, but you might as well just pay the man the money anyway if they're going to do all that. So definitely try to work something out, maybe bye week, maybe when you have a little bit of extra time, and try to get this damn thing done.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is what I have heard on the radio too. When they ran through the list, they were starting Tyler Shuck over, and they were starting astronomical people over top of Baker Mayfield. And I just felt the disrespect for him right there. He didn't even need to be listening to the radio. And I was yelling at the radio. I'm like, I can't believe this. And it's, someone was even Harry Douglas when I listened to the Freddie Coleman and Harry Douglas.
There you go.
And our buddy Eric Hanneman's on that show, and I felt like, E-Dog,
really?
I gotta text this guy. I'm like, dude, you're allowing this stuff on the air right now? I'm like, I should just call in right now. This is ridiculous. Because you brought it up, even Joe. He joined the team 3 seasons ago. So I acclimated all the stats too for the last 3 seasons too, because they pulled him in after a few starts playing for the Los Angeles Rams, not knowing even the playbook that well, playing backyard ball, getting them wins, and learning under Sean McVay. Comes into the thing, you're like, all right, well, let's just throw it out there, see what happens, and it sticks. It's freaking stuck, man. And you brought up 2 seasons ago, 2024 season, he was top 3 to 5 quarterbacks overall. He tied second in the NFL in passing touchdowns, 4th in the NFL in passing yards, and his completion percentage was off the charts too at 71% in top tier level. When you talk about quarterbacks, you got your tiers.
Yeah.
He is playing at tier 1 level. And he became just the 4th quarterback in NFL history to post a season with 4,000 plus passing yards, 40 plus passing touchdowns, and a 70% completion percentage rate. That joins Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, and Joe Smooth and Cool Joe Burrow. So that's his highlight of it. If you look at the other 2 seasons, yeah, you brought up even the fact that last season he still played, up there in top 10 in the NFL in those stats, but still high volume numbers, playing injured. You could see the injuries that he had, getting banged up, and still with the injuries on the offensive line that you brought up as well. And again, Mike Evans out for a few weeks, just the receiving core. And you also brought up the fact that Bucky Irving as well, injuries on top of that. And he's making plays with his legs, scoring in the red zone. He's got I think averaging like 350 yards rushing every single season too with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, multiple touchdowns here. And even back in 2023, top 10 in quarterbacks and a Pro Bowl nod, which doesn't matter these days, I guess. But the big thing, getting into the playoffs and a playoff win, something that some quarterbacks are even still looking for at this point. Dak Prescott. So to sum it all up, this dude in the past 3 seasons, 95 touchdowns, top 5 in the NFL over the span in touchdown passes, top 8 in passing yards, upper half in the passer rating, and starts first, tied for first in starting games. So despite injuries, still playing every single game. So when you put him next to starters like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, who they represent tier 1, Baker Mayfield with the stats he's put up here, puts him right there in tier 2, if not at the top of tier 2, along with Jared Goff and then Dak Prescott and then whoever else you want to throw at it and stick it, Matthew Stafford, but I still think Stafford's still a top tier 1 up at that point. But Baker has definitely proved enough to say that he's there in that echelon and pay the man like that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're talking about money, you said even 40,000. I'm saying if I'm Baker, I'm looking at some of these other contracts. I'm like, dude, all right. You talk about, Lamar Jackson looking for a contract, this and that, and they're going through disputes. His is going to go up. All right. You're paying, Brock Purdy 53. Yo, that's what I want. Give me 53 million. I'm worth that. You know what I'm saying? Some of these other guys, that you talked about before that you're not starting, Trevor Lawrence and some of those obviously those franchises made that mistake, decided to sign that deal and make that, pay that money away. But if I'm Baker Mayfield and his camp, I'm saying I'm better than him, just like going through the list, just like we were. Yeah. I'm better than him. I'm better than him. I'm better than him. And I've showed you everything. I played during injury, everything. What else do you want from me? What else do I have to show? And you're lowballing me right now. And the media is doing it. So it just blows my mind that people don't see it this way. What am I not seeing that other people are for some reason seeing? I don't get it, Joe. And it's just flat out disrespect. I feel like he deserves a $50 million contract.
Yeah, and that should be kind of like the bargaining point right there. Yeah. Like you mentioned, Brock Purdy, was he 53 million on average per year?
On average per year, yeah.
So a lot of it has to do with construction of the contract, but honestly, if you want to get a deal done with Baker, I think you could negotiate. You can go 45 million on average per year, but it has to be incentive laden. You got to let this guy cook, let him have the chance to make 55. If he hits certain parameters of the deal, certain production rates, then dude gets paid 55 that year. You know what I mean? And a signing bonus. Yeah, obviously guaranteed money is always going to be part of the contract, how much, what percentage you get out of the total deal. But this dude does deserve, his flowers. He deserves to be praised for what he's able to, or has been able to accomplish in a short time in Tampa. A guy that came into there and they were building around him to now where they have a nice young nucleus on offense. They got something cooking there on that side of the ball. Defensively, they still got to figure that out. But I just don't understand why negotiations took so long. And then got to a point where Baker said, well, if we don't get something done by this date, then I'm completely pivoting and focusing on the season. I'm not going to talk to you guys anymore. My agent isn't going to negotiate with you. You're going to have to wait until the time comes next time. So Tampa Bay literally shot a cannon in their foot. And now they're going to have to worry about after this season, unless they might be able to maybe squeeze in some negotiation during the bye week, but they might be forced to wait till the off season. And then do you tag the guy? And then if you tag him, keep in mind, it's the average top 5 quarterback salaries. So you're going to be paying him 50 plus million anyway. You should have just got the deal done.
Just get the deal done.
They cannot let him walk out. We all know that. Tampa Bay will not let him just walk freely without a plan in place. So they might have to pony up even more money than before. So you can't wait too long.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know how it's not just done already. You know what I mean? Take care of business, get it done. He's the guy that's got you there. That's what
He's
I'm
your
saying. When
quarterback.
yeah,
He's
like
your
what's the
starting
problem?
quarterback. This
Mhm.
isn't a guy who's a second tier receiver on your team where you're like, I don't know really what we want to pay you. This is your starting quarterback who helps win games for you,
Yeah.
who puts asses in the seats every week. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, come on. What are
Yeah.
we missing here?
Mhm, mhm. Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. All right, so there we. I've said my piece. I got it all out. I feel so much better, Joe. I mean, this has been great therapy. It's good to be back
It's been
again. You know, hopefully we can keep doing some
uh,
more uh, shows, getting together. But uh, one thing we've noticed again, like we always see, training camp starts, and lo and
mhm.
behold, the injury bug keeps popping
Oh
up
yeah.
with multiple guys going and big names going down too as well,
Yeah.
Joe. That are key points to some of these teams' success moving forward for the season.
Mhm. Yeah, so we got a few of them this week. Laramie Tunsil to start off with, huh?
Mm,
Guy that's been traded from Houston goes to the Washington Commanders, tears his triceps. So he's
mm,
gonna miss most of the season.
mhm.
I'm not a doctor, but you tear your triceps muscle, and when you block, you use that muscle a lot. So I don't know how he's gonna be able to come back, you know what I mean? And at some point in the season and be 100%. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
Yep.
I think that they're being very generous with the thing about, "Oh, well, he's expected to miss most of the season, but he should be back." I'm not really so sure that's gonna happen, but that's one guy. Next guy
Yeah,
is
I mean that's key for just quick on it. Just so I want to touch base. They brought him in there to protect Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels who had
yeah,
multiple injuries last year. You know, with the
100%.
sprained knee ligaments and then that dislocated arm, elbow that looked horrific. You know, because he's getting
Mhm.
chased around. And again, you've talked about how his stature that could be an issue here and how durable he could be. You got him to protect that left side, and now he's
Yep.
not there. So that's a key guy that won't be in this.
Loss. Yeah.
Yeah, the loss that they needed.
Big loss, man. Big loss for them, and I don't know what the alternative is.
Alternative is.
Like like free agent free agent tackle, an older vet, you might wanna sign
Mhm,
him, just bring him in there for left tackle, or maybe a trade. Maybe it's another veteran on another team. Maybe you can pull them away, but that's a big loss for them going into the season with a lot of expectation with Jaden Daniels coming back. Man, that really sucks for them.
yep.
Cade Mays, the starting center for the Carolina Panthers, goes down, and he is out indefinitely, fracturing his hand. He's done. He's not coming
Mhm,
back this season, so, unfortunately, he's not gonna be around. Uh, Isaiah Pacheco, a familiar name by
mm,
Chiefs fan standards. Now he's with the Detroit Lions, and this guy, throughout his whole career, he always gets banged up, right? Like, we always see this guy, whether you have him on your fantasy football team or even if you're a fan of the team that he was on with the Chiefs, and it always seems like this guy gets banged up, misses a few weeks, maybe miss more than that. Well, once again, he suffered a MCL tear, and now he's done.
mhm. Yep.
Like, that's it. This guy cannot stay healthy. And the Lions thought they had themselves a nice little two-back system with Jahmyr Gibbs, and now Pacheco's all done. So who knows what direction they're going to go after that. And then
Mhm.
in Chicago, Luther Burden III, rookie last year. Now it's his sophomore season. Looks really, really
Yeah,
good in camp. Him and Caleb Williams have been connecting left
been
and
big
right
time. Mhm,
and looking in mid-form shape. Um, he strained his groin. So, nothing major. He's gonna miss the entire preseason though, but he will be
mhm.
ready for or is at least expected to be ready for week 1. But again, all the practice and all the hard work that this dude has put in, and now it's gonna have to be put on pause and see till week 1. Maybe he can come back and kinda get in the swing of things. So there you have it. We got a few of the key injuries that transpired, this past week.
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. And that's we're gonna get more week to week. The more that they don't,
That's the
they keep
unfortunate
doing
part.
these. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Every
definitely.
week,
And
it seems like someone's getting injured.
yeah, what's funny too is they like these joint practices and stuff, but then now people are fighting all the time in these joint practices, even too. There you got fist fights going on between the
Yeah.
teams and things. So, but
Yeah, alright.
as far as injury wise, there's even some other starters that were kind of keeping an eye on from injuries from last year that they're still recovering from. You know, we talk about, you know, Micah Parsons, Michael Penix, you know, and even Tua, you know, like right now is still banged up still too. So, and Patrick Mahomes, we've been keeping an eye on too, and he looks pretty good in practice and stuff. But there's talking about not even starting him in a preseason game. Which why would you even at this point?
Like,
who cares?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to take any risk there with Mahomes.
I wouldn't.
They definitely need him, you know, for the start of the season, and they don't want to take any risk there, like someone rolling into his leg or something like that in a preseason
over something
game.
that really doesn't mean anything. It doesn't. Yeah. So there's no
they're going
point.
to be, and they're going to be. They've been careful with him, and I know that some Chiefs fans, when they watch like the highlights, the clips of him in practice, and he looks like he's 100. He's not 100%. He'll even tell you that. Like he's close, but he's not 100% yet. He still needs to get full mobility on that leg and be able to be completely comfortable before he, you know, becomes himself again. The only other caveat of that is what I'll say is Mahomes did say in a presser that he needs to scale back on rushing this year. He wants to push the ball down the field or even just give it to one of his weapons and let them do all the running. He doesn't want to have to rush as much as he did in the past. And obviously this is stemming all from his injuries. Last year, his ankle injury that he sustained went right into the playoffs with it. So you see he's a smart quarterback. And he realizes like I'm not going to have a very long career if I keep getting injured. So he's smart enough to realize that, and he's going to implement that into his game plan every week.
All right, we got John Turner is in the house with us.
Know-it-alls.
He's there. He's a Commanders fan, and he knows that team inside and out. And he says Brandon Coleman taking over for Laremy Tunsil would be a zero drop off, probably an upgrade. So let's look at that one.
All right,
and John, hey, no, dude, I believe John. You know, he knows his stuff, dude. He's got the ins and outs of everything around the NFL John. And even that team right there. So we appreciate you, John, out there. We appreciate you guys out there listening to us and checking out the show again. Now we're just like our 9th season, right? Holy crap, man! Don't even count all the gray hairs right here, bro. Right? It's crazy. Well, we appreciate you guys staying with us for this long too, man. You know, holy
thanks
crap.
Everybody for tuning in. Thanks for all the comments down below. You can keep commenting even after the show's over. And we'll get to it maybe next week or whatnot. But really do appreciate everybody. Thanks. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Make sure you get everybody to hit that subscribe button on YouTube for us. Really does help us out. Get a little bit more notoriety there. Also, don't forget to hit the thumbs up as well. Really appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys all on the next one.